What's up, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Bijan and Ted's Sports Takes. Unfortunately, Ted's not able to be here with us today, but I'm going to hold it down for us. What we'll be getting into today is our NFL pick segment. I'll be outlining the 7 early game slate, pretty much just going through each game, outlining the strengths and weaknesses for each opponent, and who I got coming out on top in each matchup. So we're going to dive right into it. For the first game, I got New Orleans Saints versus the Atlanta Falcons. Saints coming in at 9-2, leader in the NFC so far, against the Atlanta Falcons sitting at 4-7. This is an NFC South divisional matchup. Always within divisional matchups, because the teams know each other so well. The games are always kind of very close. The biggest thing to look out for is that Drew Brees is still out with that rib injury that he suffered a few weeks back. Hopes is for the earliest for him to come back will be in Week 15, hopefully against the defending champion Kansas City Chiefs. But so I'm going to just dive in to what I believe is going to go on in this game. We got the Saints over the last 3 weeks. They are playing like a number one defense, only allowing 1 touchdown being scored over the last 3 games. Just being led by that defense. Taysom Hill has been the spot starter for Drew Brees. They decided to go with him instead of Jameis Winston. And he's been playing pretty solid. Sean Payton is catering the offense towards his skill set more, having a more diverse approach, heavy run game approach, with obviously Taysom Hill and his dynamic abilities with Alvin Kamara, Latavius Murray. If need be on, long distance situations to move the chains and whatnot. Obviously, they got the All-Pro Michael Thomas to be able to feed the ball to, as well as Emmanuel Sanders. The Atlanta Falcons, however, they have been playing a lot better football since going over to Raheem Morris as the interim head coach after letting go of Dan Quinn. He's 4-2 over the last 6 weeks, and the Falcons had a phenomenal performance last week against the Las Vegas Raiders, winning that game 43-6. Honestly, it was a shocker, but any given Sunday, anything could happen. So, that's the beauty of the NFL, and I was happy to see, that type of output from Atlanta. However, in this one, I got the Saints taking it 23-17. I just feel as though with these teams knowing each other so well, they just played a few weeks back. So I get it. The Falcons do have a tad more film on Taysom Hill and how the Saints want to use him and whatnot. But I just feel like the way that defense is playing for New Orleans, I feel like it can carry him home. Then we got Detroit Lions sitting at 4-7 versus Chicago Bears at 5-6 up at Soldier Field. So this is a game. Chicago is favored by 3. Honestly, I do want to first and foremost point out that Matt Patricia and Bob Quinn have been relieved of their duties in Detroit. Interim head coach Darrell Bevell most notably had a lot of success with the Seattle Seahawks early in Russell Wilson's tenure, where they won a Super Bowl and went to another where they unfortunately lost to the Patriots. He's the offensive coordinator and now is being bumped up to the head coach. So when we dive into this matchup, honestly, these are just 2 teams that are consistently inconsistent. So I look at it like the defense for the Bears is phenomenal. They only allowing their 8th in points allowed on the year, whereas the Lions, pretty much middle of the pack offensively, and they're 31st in points allowed on the year. I just feel as though in this one, whatever offense can gain traction more and limit their turnovers will come out on top. I just feel as though the Lions just having more of a consistent offense, as well as Mitchell Trubisky will be the starter for the Bears, and I just don't trust them. It's too much inconsistency within the passing offense. They're just not able to gain any traction in regards to just consistently being able to move the football down the field and score enough points, in my opinion. And it really has been holding this phenomenal defense back. But when I look at the Lions, I just feel as though Stafford just has a better chance of moving the ball and finding a way to get points. And I got the Lions winning this one 24-20. Then we got the Indianapolis Colts sitting at 7-4 against the Houston Texans, sitting at 4-7. This is another divisional matchup as well out of that AFC South. Pretty much the biggest thing I want to point out in this one, Will Fuller and Bradley Roby have been suspended for the rest of the year. Both took heed into some PEDs and, performance-enhancing drugs. And, Roger Goodell came down with the hammer. So those guys will be out for the rest of the year. In this matchup, I just believe the Colts, due to the fact that last week they really didn't show who they totally were as a ball club, in my opinion. This is a team that, in totality, with that defense that they have collectively, they are fifth in yards allowed on the year. And when I just look at them, the heavy cover 2 scheme that they run a cover 2 zone, 2 high safeties, 5 underneath. They want to get after you with a 4-man rush throughout the entirety of the game. DeForest Buckner, interior defensive lineman, causes a lot of havoc. Got veterans like Justin Houston off the edge. Pretty much like a middle linebacker like Darius Leonard, who's looked at as one of the better middle linebackers in this league. I just look at it as though like the Texans really struggle against the Colts cover 2 scheme, because Deshaun Watson, he has been playing phenomenally, even though they're only 4-7. He's playing like an MVP. But with the scheme that the Colts run and cover 2, it really limits you from making big plays in the passing game. And the Texans don't have an offense, in my opinion, to be able to lighten that box enough or make that safety come down with a consistent running game. The Colts will be able, in my opinion, will be able to contain that rushing attack from the Texans with just, their 7 men up front. Just feel like the Colts do bounce back this week, and I got them 30-24. Then we got the Miami Dolphins and the Cincinnati Bengals. Cincinnati Bengals sitting at 2-8-1, and Miami sitting at 7-4. They are favored by 10.5 in this game. Tua is making his 5th start. He was out last week with a thumb injury. Finally getting back in the lineup, so we got Tua time rolling again. Mainly though, this Dolphins team is linchpinned by their defense. Second in points allowed on the year, only allowing 18.6 points per game. The Bengals at this point in the season, they are a little lifeless, being that the biggest thing to happen for them is potential offensive rookie of the year. Joe Burrow, he went out with an ACL and MCL injury a few weeks back. So Brandon Allen has been stepping in his place. And the offense just isn't the same. And that offense and that ball club generated around a lot of the things that Joe Burrow was doing well in order for them to just even be able to move the ball down the football field. He had the most dropbacks throughout the year. So that shows that they were passing the most with them. And he just had a lot of success. And with you going against a Dolphins front that's been phenomenal, Brian Flores from that New England tree, he runs a lot of principles that Bill Belichick runs and has done it to the best of his ability from that Bill Belichick tree in terms of having success. I just believe this Miami Dolphins defense is going to be just entirely too much for the Bengals, and I got them coming on top 27-9. The Jacksonville Jaguars sitting at 1-10. Versus the Minnesota Vikings sitting at 5-6. Minnesota is favored by 10 in this one. In this game, you do have a sneaky good matchup. But you got Dalvin Cook, who's been playing tremendous. Just was rewarded NFC Offensive Player of the Month for the month of November. And he's going against James Robinson, who's an undrafted free agent. This guy, he's been doing a tremendous job. 3rd in rushing on the year, as well as Dalvin Cook, he's 2nd in rushing, just behind Derrick Henry. So you have the 2nd and 3rd respective rushing attacks in this game. It should be a hell of a matchup. And the thing is, in this one, both defenses allow you to garner a rhythm. So I look at it as though the Jacksonville Jaguars will be able to cover, because the Vikings, they're looked at as the 27th ranked defense as far as points allowed, whereas Jacksonville is looked at as the 30th ranked defense. So this is just a game where I just look at it like what offense is able to have more consistency, and I feel like the Vikings just have more weapons than Jacksonville has. You have Justin Jefferson, this guy as a rookie, has been playing phenomenal, along with Adam Thielen, who's over the last 3 or 4 years has been known as one of the better wide receivers in this league. So I just look at it as them just having more weapons, whereas Jacksonville, they're just not as deep in that regard. You know, DJ Chark is solid. They also drafted a rookie in Laviska Shenault. He's one of my favorite players, but I just look at it as though Jacksonville just won't have enough offense at the end of the day to be able to pull this one out. And I got Minnesota winning at 27-23. Then we got the Las Vegas Raiders sitting at 6-5 versus the New York Jets, who's still 0 to this point, 0-11. Las Vegas is favored by 7.5 in this game. I do want to point out both of their, I want to say, heart and soul on both sides of the ball are out. Josh Jacobs, the running back, as far as being just the energizer bunny for that offense, I should say, as well as Jonathan Abram, starting strong safety. Man, he reminds me of Jamal Adams in some degree as far as the passion that he brings to the game. Just his ability to just roam around sideline to sideline, coming down, making big-time plays, big-time hits, and just energizing that defense. He'll be out as well. I do want to point out Derek Carr, though, has been playing some underrated, very good football. 19 touchdowns on the year, just 4 interceptions with a 69% completion percentage. They're 12th in points per game on the year, so they're one of the better offenses in this league. And whereas the Jets, they're ranked 32nd offensively. 13.8 points per game, looking like that they pretty much playing for the first overall pick or something at this point, because honestly, I don't get what Adam Gase, the head coach, is doing. Offense just not able to muster up enough offense to do anything successfully at this point. And both defenses allow you to be able to do some things against them. They're 28th and 29th respectively in points allowed. So, I mean, honestly, I look for a lot of offense in this one. I actually do think the Jets will be able to score a little bit. But ultimately, with the Raiders having that terrible performance they had last week, losing 43-6 to Atlanta, I just feel like they bounced back in a big way. And I got them 31-17. And then our last game for the early game slot is the best one. We got the Cleveland Browns sitting at 8-3 versus the Tennessee Titans sitting at 8-3. So the two biggest things in this one, Denzel Ward, the number 1 corner for the Cleveland Browns, came in with Baker Mayfield as the 4th overall pick in 2018. This dude is rock solid, and to be able to, for him to be out, the secondary is not. They're just not that great as a whole without having him in there. So I do feel like that is a big miss for their defense. And then on the Tennessee Titans side, Jadeveon Clowney, unfortunately just had a season-ending knee surgery. So they'll be out. They'll be without one of their bookend pass rushers. This game is going to be a lot of running the football in this one. You got Derrick Henry, who's the rushing leader on the year, going against, in my opinion, the best running back tandem in Nick Chubb and Kareem Hunt. Chubb has 719 rushing yards on the year, whereas Kareem Hunt has 706. As to why I say they're the best running back tandem on the year. Both of them can be one running back ones on any of these football teams around the league, in my opinion. And Derrick Henry first in rushing with 1,257 yards. That Titans offense goes through him. And pretty much the thing that I look for in this game as to what I believe will decipher being that each quarterback does have that rushing attack to lean on. I just trust Ryan Tannehill and his ability to make big plays to A.J. Brown and Corey Davis, especially without having Denzel Ward out there. And that secondary being Terrence Mitchell and Kevin Johnson, guys that they're not, solidified in this league. So I trust Tannehill and his ability to make big plays more. And I got the Titans in this one, 33-24. And that will be it for my early pick segment. Stay tuned, and I'll be going into the late games as well as the primetime games for the week.